It's a beautiful morning to be taking in the air, don't you think, Supervisor? I'm really going to miss the peace and tranquility. Can't you just smell the sea and the early morning chill?
Doesn't do to be overly sentimental, number two. The human mind has a wonderful knack of neglecting past horrors.
Maybe that's just as well in our case. I would so like the last day to be a happy one. I trust the plans are on schedule.
I've implemented the removal of the remaining scientists and personnel. 1,000 hours tomorrow, the village will be decommissioned.
I'm just off to stroll through the gardens one last time, pay my respects to an old companion. You know, I've had the privilege of watching 4 generations of that old wren grow up and start families of their own.
Quite fitting that you should sanction their final destruction then, number two. Anyway, there's just the small matter of one resident who won't fly the nest.
It's another fine morning. Sunshine will give way to more unsettled weather later in the afternoon. Live every day as if it were your last.
I must visit our long-standing colleague. This won't be easy for either of us, I'm afraid. But then I don't expect any less from him.
It's a wonderful day. We start with music.
Don't you ever knock!
Mind if I make myself some breakfast, number 6?
Why not? I've never stopped you before.
It's time for all of us to be leaving.
So soon? And it only seems like an eternity?
Come, I mean, it's time to go back to the real world.
This one is a dream, after all. Number 2.
You're free to go.
Free to go? You've given me a choice. What's it to be? 2 million work units and a valid passport to anywhere I desire?
Oh, we don't need passports anymore.
Paris? In the springtime? Rome? Athens?
Anywhere you desire, old chap.
London?
Of course.
London? Back home to my world? Just as it was before you bastards took it from me?
Now, number 6, self-pity. That's not like you at all.
You should know, number 2.
Look, old fellow, you've earned your freedom. There's no Cold War now, no them and us, no opposing sides.
Was there ever? Was it ever about sides?
I've said too much, sir. You can come with us or make your own way back to civilization. Just make sure you are a long way from here by tomorrow morning. Good day to you.
And be seeing you, number 2.
Supervisor, put number 6 on the monitor.
Yes, number 2. I thought there might be problems.
Problems? Problems? It's your damn fault that things weren't brought to a speedy conclusion back in the old days when the situation was in our favor.
We've driven him to alcoholism. What more do you expect? He only had finite resources. Besides, with that level of instability, results could never be assured.
I pity him now. with the only fight he has left in him. Could have made a big difference if he'd realised his own fears and weaknesses earlier.
If someone consigns his darker self to eternal exile, after V went through all the trouble of leading him there, then perhaps he doesn't deserve his freedom.
You were only too glad of recreational narcotics to alleviate your past failings once your last term of assignment had ended, Supervisor.
It isn't professional to reiterate unguarded moments, number 2. Especially when they concern my own free time.
Oh, but they are on file, you know. I expect number 1 has a whole section devoted to failure. He clings to that badge as if he needs to remind himself of who he was.
Is that hardly surprising? He probably never knew who he was.
I thought he would jump at the chance of freedom. Hand me the phone. Are you afraid, number 6? You really are free to go. The system did some terrible things to you and me both, old friend. But we all have to step outside the limits of what we believe to be safe sometime. Move on, find a new cause.
I will stay and fight. The other world is full of lies and fear. I can make here a much better place. I will not leave. You can't make me.
Leave, number 6, now, and don't ever look back. Supervisor, please bring me up to date with the final agenda.
Am I free to go? Ha ha ha! Free at last? Free to go? They won't let me go. They can't. I won't let them. Do they hear? This is my world now. I like my world now. I must fight. No silence to feel the pain of the moment. The whole world has become the village. I am free. Free to stay.
Your transport awaits, number 2.
Such a pity about number 6. Almost feel I should stay behind myself. He's wanted freedom all these years, and when finally it's within his grasp, he allows his subconscious to prevent that final release. And all because he's frightened deep down inside. Frightened of being mortal, like you and me.
You can die here if you wish. But you were only carrying out your orders. The same as the rest of us.
You knew, didn't you?
Number 6 was never going to be easy to persuade. I can live with my decision. I suggest you endeavor to do the same.
Yes, I suppose you are right. Well, let's leave for the real world, eh, Supervisor?
What do you want? Information? You won't get it. I'll make a deal with you, number 2. I'll tell you why I resign. I am number 1. I am a number. I will die here alone. Do you hear?
Destruction imminent. Repeat, destruction imminent.
I am free. I am a free man. All alone with the wind and the stars and my thoughts. It's you that is incarcerated, number 2. You have a lifetime of living with your conscience. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.